Also, I will also join J Money and say, many women have looked at my penis and thought, what's going on here? So.
which is oddly PG, but also very crippling to the emotions.
Very crippling. If you can be PG and crippling, my God, you are Christopher fucking Nolan at that point. Wow, you have made a masterpiece of a comment, of an insult.
Yeah, KY, you wanted to edit this, but the jokes got too good.
I know, now I have to fucking leave it in.
You gotta leave it in.
Okay, I'm sorry, Connor.
Yeah, so
man. That's my
he's in the
fault.
penal colony in Bermuda. So in June 1902, in this penal colony, he sneaks out of his tent, gets his way over the barbed wire fence, and he swims from the island that he's on to the main island of Bermuda, evading patrol boats and spotlights all the way to the main island. It is a 1.5 mile swim.
Good God.
Wow.
I mean,
So hold on.
Oh my God.
Okay. Now I want to retract. I think I even want to retract my earlier statements. Look, we made fun of this guy because of the spoons, but they really only put him on an island that was only 1.5 miles of a swim.
they assume he couldn't get there.
I mean, 1.5 mile swim.
Dude, yeah, if you're swimming 1.5 miles,
We're not talking
you're
about a
killing
whole
yourself.
day here, though. People have trudged through deserts and made it out of worse. 1.5 miles of swimming, even if you're scared of sharks, is very doable by most a grown man.
I'm going to do two things here. First, I want to plug, if you're listening, 1.5 mile swim. Is that tough or not? Let us know on our social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Secondly, 1.5 mile swim. If you tell me to swim 1.5 miles, I'm going to tell you to go fuck your mother. Okay? I mean...
You're doing it to get out of the penal colony, though.
Well, I guess to get out of a penal colony, but still at the same time, it's where the fuck am I going? I'm going to another fucking penal colony over here. I'm going to another place with fucking coconuts. Get out of here. It's ridiculous.
I wonder, so the patrol boats are going by. They're like, what's a funny looking dolphin? It's probably fine. And he's shouting Afrikaan swears at them the whole time. And they're like, oh, that's a funny looking manatee. Keep going.
Keep going. He's fine. He's fine.
He's probably fine.
We don't care about him.
You know what's weird? A lot of the manatees here are racist. It's crazy.
Yeah, we got so many racist manatees. Honestly, we only got one cannon. We got to save it for ships. I can't save it for manatees out here. So
yeah, I want to shoot it, dude. You're telling me I want to do it with you, but we don't have the power right
honestly,
now.
there have been so many sharks I've wanted to shoot. It's been so dope out here, but we can't.
All right, Connor, where we go? Where we go?
So he makes it to the main island. He goes to the house of a Boer sympathizer, and they basically stow him on a ship to Baltimore, Maryland.
What?
And he arrives in the U.S.
He goes to fucking Balmer, hangs out. Holy shit.
At this point, all of his family's dead. He's a war criminal. He's just like, hey, dudes, I'm staying in the U.S.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, also, it's 1902. The war is actually ending at this point. The British take control. They take all the territory. The war is basically over. So he's just like,
Nothing to go back to. Right.
This is fine. I'm going to hang in Baltimore. Yeah.
The British win, so why not stay? Okay, yeah.
Of all the cities, why Baltimore?
Well, that's just where he landed in. He goes to New York, and that's where he lives.
When they eventually reshoot The Wire, he'll be the next episode.
Yeah, he will come back on. Also, Holler, seen every season. Please redo The Wire.
Please redo The Wire. Please redo The Wire. If you can, please, let's get another season in there. That's okay.
Yeah. McNulty, if you're listening, let's do it.
Yeah, bring Nolte back, bring Idris Elba back, and the whole thing. The guy that played Bubbles.
Yeah, definitely the guy who played Bubbles.
And
yeah,
Omar.
Definitely Omar.
So Nolte, Omar, Bubbles, Idris Elba. Bring those four back. Everyone
yeah, that's fine. And clearly, we need someone to cover this character that we're talking about here. I mean, that would be.
Fuck yeah, Duquesne. Wow. Okay, so he's knocking around in New York City.
Yep. And he starts his career as a novelist and traveling war correspondent.
That is a strange jump from treasure hider, dissident, double agent, prison escapist to author.
I mean, the man likes to write.
What year would this have been? What year would this have been?
This is like 1902.
Okay, so this is just literally probably 3 years later than what we were talking about previously.
Dude, this guy is not idle. I know that, like, you know, traveling on a ship and all that kind of takes time. It's built into this time period, but like, he didn't get to New York and was like, you know what? I'm gonna work at the deli at the corner. I'm gonna get my feet under me, and I'm just gonna feel the city. I'm gonna feel the vibrant heartbeat of this city. He was like, you know what? I'm a novelist. I want to travel. I want to see more war. If I'm not seeing carnage and someone being ripped apart, I'm not living. Let's do it.
I ain't living if I'm not seeing someone die.
Man, what a fucking lunatic.
There's a beautiful aspect where 1902, prime time for immigration in this country. So he clearly came in kind of right during those early years where he's here. Doesn't matter where I show up. And
can you imagine if he's sitting in New York and he hears a British accent? He kicks that person to
yeah.
death.
Oh my God. He
Just
kills
out
that
of
person.
instinct.
Yeah. Oh, let me hear you one more time if it's not too bad here, and then just immediately destroys this person.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, he is really mad at that guy.
He's really mad at that guy.
He knew
That's
him.
okay.
I know he
That's
knew
okay. As long as he didn't kill anyone in my family and we didn't get dysentery, that's okay.
That's just
Those
fine.
are the two top things to worry about.
Yeah,
That's
two
it.
top things. Those are the only two things you worried about.
I hope the pigs running the streets don't maul my child to death.
Yes.
Also
Yeah.
happened in New York at the time. So
That was a thing. That was a
yeah,
thing.
it was. Yeah,
Yeah, New York was a
Crazy.
wild place.
fucked up.
It's also crazy to me that he becomes a war correspondent. I didn't know like war correspondents went that far back in time.
Yeah, I mean, he worked for like a French newspaper. He went to Port Arthur, which is now part of China, to cover the Russo-Japanese War.
Wow.
He traveled to Morocco to cover a rebellion that was happening there in like the early 1900s.
Oh my God. Okay.
Holy shit, dude! This guy went fucking everywhere.
Yeah. Apparently, he went to like the Belgian Congo too to see whatever the fuck was happening there at the time too.
Just float around, see what you want to see.
But during that time, he also picked up a gig as like an African wildlife expert because he's from Africa.
Yeah, yeah.
God. There was some American dentist who had to shoot a fucking lion in the face, and he was like, "Yeah, all right, I'll take your money."
I do wonder if that's a scenario where he could be a true con man and just clearly label an animal something that it's clearly not. Like, oh, that's the famous just hanging monkey. That's a hanging monkey.
Yeah, just
That's a hanging
random ass
monkey. What you're
names.
seeing is, yeah, he's just making up names like, oh, that's the brown lion. That's a brown lion.
That's the kookaburra bird. You shoot those.
That's
Yeah.
the Rice Krispie toucan over there. So
Yeah.
I mean, we can talk about the most famous of the American big game hunters, Teddy Roosevelt.
Uh-oh.
Yes, we can. He lived at the same time.
Yeah, he actually became Teddy Roosevelt's personal shooting instructor.
What?
yes, fuck
And he
yes.
published accounts of like Teddy's big game hunts, and he went on speaking tours telling of these like African safaris.
Holy shit.
As you guys know, Teddy was a true outdoorsman. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Started the park system. Loved the outdoors. Huge hunter.
Huge
crazy
hunter.
massive hunter.
Yeah.
Wow. Honestly, what a mind-blowing connection. That's insane.
Yeah, that is crazy to have some guy going from South Africa to Mozambique to Portugal to Britain back to South Africa to some fucking island to Bermuda to Baltimore to being Teddy Roosevelt's probably everyone's favorite president.
Any idea
His shooting
on
instructor.
when he had that connection with Teddy? Was it like pre or post Spanish American War? Do you know?
This was post presidency of Teddy Roosevelt.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So he helped him trim the mustache, suck the milk from
This
the
would have
mustache.
been
yeah.
the teens then.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Right. This was Teddy Roosevelt inherited the presidency from McKinley, and he was just like, I don't really want this. I just want to shoot big animals.
Yeah, I want to get out of here. I want to shoot big animals.
I just want to find people that let me do that.
Yeah, I want to kill things more majestic than my own mustache.
Well, and with the help of Duquesne, he absolutely got to that
That's
place.
true.
Holy shit.
That's a beautiful twist.
Also speaking to his African wildlife expertise, in 1910, a Louisiana congressman founds a new food supply society to address a serious meat supply shortage in the U.S. He introduces a bill, H.R. 23261, also known as the American Hippo Bill, to import hippopotamus into the Louisiana Bayou as a new food source.
Hell
I
yes.
have heard about
Hell
this.
yes.
I fucking heard about that.
What?
Yeah, it was like they were trying to sell like hippo steaks. It was like hippo steaks everywhere. Enjoy the hippo steaks. They're big, they're fat. Everyone wants hippo steaks.
Make America great again. Give me the hippo steak. Yeah.
So it was backed by Teddy Roosevelt, of course.
Absolutely.
The Department of Agriculture and the New York Times even said that they praised the taste of it as lake cow bacon.
Lake cow
That sounds
bacon.
amazing.
Man, I would eat that. I definitely
Yeah,
would
you're
eat that.
speaking my
I'd eat
language
the
here.
fuck
Yeah,
out of
if
a
you
hippo.
described it as bacon in any form, I'll probably eat it. So
Fun fact, hippos kill more people every year than alligators do.
they do.
And crocodiles.
is true.
So
God,
Yeah.
you're so fucking woke.
I'm just
KY.
worldly.
You're so woke.
I have this knowledge on my person at all
You
times.
must share it.
Just be careful. Just if you're kayaking in Africa, in any of these major countries, please do so with caution. And when you see a hippo, be safe.
And we want to give that discretion because we know a lot of our listeners, your next trip will be in Africa. You are kayakers. We do know you guys.
If you're kayaking in Africa, don't do that.
Yeah, a hippo will fucking knock you out of your boat, kill you, and then a crocodile will probably eat you. It's going to be a bad scene.
Because honestly, crocodiles are just such assholes. Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, this guy Duquesne is going to come by and eat your girlfriend out. When you're
He
dead.
will. Yeah, he'll swing by and he'll just like, I'm going to eat out your girlfriend, bro. I'm going to eat that pussy.
Here's the one language everybody speaks.
He's going to show up and just go, I'm going to eat that pussy. This tongue's about to get wild.
So, obviously that bill didn't pass because we're not eating hippopotamus.
Jerks.
To this
We're
day,
not
sadly.
eating hippopotamus steaks or hippopotamus pussy.
I wanted at least one, you know?
I did not see that coming. That's fantastic.
No, neither did I. That was a good
Well,
one.
that's why you keep me around. That's why you keep me around. Learn something. Write it down. Write it down. Write it down if you're listening.
Yeah, let's take a moment to talk about hippopotamus.
No.
Always.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that the fucking line in this podcast? Have we reached the bottom of the pool?
Honestly, people are trying to censor us, Kyle. They are trying to censor us and make us go linear here. Okay?
KY Jelly is on a fucking warpath of censorship, trying to keep us from talking about the pleasures, the delights of
Streamlined
hippopotamus
in
pussy.
media, and the rest of us are artists. And it's killing me. It's fucking killing me right now.
I would say we have actually talked about an incredible amount of animal-human sex this episode, and the manatees and the hippos are going to be real upset with us in the end of this.
Parenthetically, you should probably put bestiality next to whatever the title's going to be here.
Duquesne, a little bit of bestiality on the side, just for good
Listen,
measure.
As a guy who's had sex with a lot of fat chicks, I'm going to tell you right now that hippopotamus pussy is not outside of the norm for
I
me.
have to cut.
No, don't cut that. Don't cut that. Definitely.
It is, yeah.
You guys, if we ever want women to listen to this, we can't make that separation.
Oh, I'm sorry. I get knocked.
I think we've drawn the line
For our listeners, not for us, but for our listeners.
It's for our wonderful listeners.
Let's talk about hippo pussy all night long. You know,
I know that when KY is rubbing his cheeks from laughing too hard, that he has like at least an hour worth of
It's just like, fuck me in the face.
I think we did just fuck you in the face, quite frankly.
that's right.
And on that topic, I would like to talk about something near and dear to my heart: hippopotamus pussy. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
Honestly, Justin, my eulogy must start with that single sentence. And if it doesn't, I will haunt you forever.
It's set in stone. Now it is set. Oh my god.
This is going to be in the recording because I need this as my last will and testament. You will offend every single person there besides me.
And these are going to be locked in a vault
yep.
right next to all the other hidden tapes that KY has. So
I'm listeners, if you're hearing me right now, if you have weak sensitivity, go fuck yourself.
clearly, if you're listening to us, you don't have sensitivity whatsoever. Okay, I mean it's just
You want it raw.
Oh God.
Oh, baby, I like it raw. Oh, baby, I like it raw.
What are we, shock jocks from the 90s? What's
Yeah,
happening?
dude.
That's
when it
Wu-Tang.
comes
That's
back
Wu-Tang.
around.
That's Wu-Tang. Get your game up.
It's Wu-Tang.
Get your game up.
If you don't like it, eat your mama's hippopotamus.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
All right, Con Man, I got us way off topic, man. Where are we at?
So we're going into World War One now. He's in the U.S. It's 1914, and I mean, reading the Wikipedia article, it's a little weird because the statement in the Wikipedia article, I'm just going to quote it. After meeting a German-American industrialist in the Midwest around 1914, Duquesne became a German spy.
What the flying fuck? Dude.
That's a jump. I agree with Sean. What the fuck is
So
that?
he became a German.
The guy obviously hated the British, right? But I mean, that sentence sounds like that industrialist was a super convincing guy.
Yeah, crazy convincing.
I feel like you know, him becoming a spy for the Brits justified. Him becoming a spy for the Germans not so justified. I think it's just his thing.
But he
He's
hates the British.
Yeah.
He hates the British.
Well, you know what? That makes sense. Actually, Ryan, you make a good point. Germany at time was at war with Britain, and that makes sense.
Joining the Kaiser and becoming
Yeah.
one of their secret spy agents, that does make sense.
I mean, I'm given the time frame. Joining the Kaiser is a lot better than joining the
True.
Fuhrer.
You get one of the spiky helmets.
He had about 20 years better luck. Yes, absolutely.
I bet they were just like, hey man, can you speak German? He's like, yeah, I'm pretty good at languages. And they were like, do you hate the British? He goes, yeah.
And then the second part of this Wikipedia sentence is he went to Brazil as Frederick Fredericks under the disguise of doing scientific research on rubber plants.
Yes, Professor Fredericks. Frederick Fredericks, of course.
I have shown up to do scientific research on rubber plants. Also, take off my pants so I may fuck you from behind.
That's a bold.
We're not going to cut that one. We're not going to cut that, KY. That one's good.
Justin,
Okay,
here's the
yeah,
thing.
okay.
You have to
Go
say
fuck
something
yourself.
that's so fucking weird, he won't cut it. That's what I'm
can't.
finding with KY. It's a game. It's a game. This is basically...
I was talking about fucking hippopotamus.
I know.
pussy.
Well,
He's like, oh,
but
we gotta
that's
cut
honestly
that.
that's
We gotta
too
cut
that's
it.
too close to home for a KY. You know what I mean?
I didn't even say a word, and I was still attacked. I am a victim always.
I'm a victim always. Oh my god. Come on, dude. Come on.
Just so if you weren't clear on the camps here, I'm definitely joining the fucking Big Cat camp. Release the Big Cat tapes.
We don't have a camp. We all love each other. We do all love each other. But a lot of people tend to love Big Cat more. I don't know. It's just it's a thing. It's a thing.
So Connor, what is going on with this fucking spy guy?
So my man's in Brazil right now. He's a German
Holy
spy.
shit! So he jumps down to Brazil.
Yep, he's quote unquote doing scientific research on rubber plants down there. But while he's there, he's credited with sinking 22 British ships by shipping time bombs disguised as mineral samples. So he like ships this cargo as mineral samples, but he places bombs in them with like a delayed fuse to go off, I don't know, like a week later or something like that. So as soon as they're out of port, the bombs blow up, the ships sink.
But these are British like shipping ships, like cargo ships.
They're commercial ships, but the whole plan is to disrupt any like commercial shipping going from South America to Britain.
I'm gonna ask. This is a truthful, ignorant question. Did they have the technology for this at the time? For some reason, it seems not possible that was true, but God, it has to be, right?
I mean, it's not like he like slapped like a calculator on them,
Right,
You
and
know,
like
like a digital timer or anything.
Right,
to
but
it,
I also don't think that he lit a fuse that was like 60 feet long, and then was like, "Well, they'll probably be good by now."
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know
That's
the
crazy.
technology that he did it.
Yeah, it's a bad
God,
question,
it's
probably.
just a dumb question. Ugh.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, I hope nothing horrible ever happens to you. So.
Oh God. It's a bad question. I wish you had
There's
thought.
only
I wish you
love
had thought.
behind those words.
I wish you had thought a little bit more.
But here's the genius of this guy. He put out insurance policies on that cargo that he shipped out.
Get the fuck out of
Oh
here!
my god, this guy.
So when those ships sunk, he collected a fat sum of money
Oh my god.
because he raked in that insurance money.
Wow.
That is fucking genius.
Yeah, it really is.
Con man to the fullest.
True con man, not our con man, obviously, is what the distinction was there.
Yeah. Same. One and the same.
One of the same.
Yeah,
I
that's
strive to be
our
this
con
guy.
man found a con man.
Right. This is why our con man chose this con man to cover.
So MI5 gets word of this guy. They bust one of his accomplices, who gives him up. He has to fake his death, and he bounces around South America for a little while.
Wow.
Back to the stomping grounds.
That's quick, though. That's quick. He's like, I'm going to give up my life as Fred Fredericks, who is always sinking ships and collecting tons of fucking insurance money. I'm dead now. And he probably collected insurance money on that guy.
I died in one of the planes somewhere. Yeah, one of the ships. It just happened. I don't know what happened.
He actually ends up back in New York in 1916. And the story goes that German intelligence contacts him again while he's in New York. He leaves for Europe. The Germans learned that a Russian nobleman, a Count Boris Zakrevsky, was going to be traveling on a British cruiser, the HMS Hampshire, from Scotland to Petrograd, Russia. Also on this ship is going to be now Field Marshal Lord Kitchener.
Wow. Oh my god.
Oh, okay.
What the
All
fuck?
right.
All right. That hatred does not sleep.
Mm-mm.
So the Germans kidnap the actual Count. Fritz takes his place and meets Lord Kitchener in London, assuming the identity of this guy.
Wow.
This is some James Bond
It is.
shit.
It really is. It
Yeah,
really is.
Dude, these timelines are wild, too. So, you're talking 1914, he was in South America blowing up fucking cargo ships with delayed bombs. Fakes his death. 2 years later, he's back in New York and then posing his account now off fucking Russia. Is it in Russia or something?
He's off the coast of Russia at least, right?
Yeah. And he's got to shake the hand and glad hand with this fucking asshole that he's hated for the last 20 years.
So he's actually in Britain posing as a Count of Russia that was supposed to be on the ship going to Russia.
Okay. Man, I bet he's just seething pissed being in Britain, too, with all those English people. And he's like, want to kick you all to death.
This is such a tantalizing story, man.
So he accompanies the field marshal to the main naval base, Scapa Flow, which is in Scotland, and their ship sets off for Petrograd, Russia. As soon as the ship clears the northeastern islands of Scotland, Fritz passes off these waterproof torches outside of his porthole window, which alerts the nearby German U-boats to the ship that says, "This is the ship that Lord Kitchener is on." These German U-boats fire all their torpedoes at the ship. Fritz jumps off.
Oh my
In
god!
a
Of course
lifeboat.
he did. Oh, of course he did.
Because he knows it's coming.
Yeah.
And that ship sinks in 15 minutes.
Of course.
Jesus.
Of course. And that ship sank like it was from the intro of a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Yes. God.
Yeah.
Christ.
Do it. Straight down, just wah, wah, wah.
Yep, so Fritz takes that lifeboat over to the German U-boats, and they pick him up. And the HMS Hampshire sinks with Lord Kitchener and 600 sailors on it. And, they all drowned.
And he's just fucking whistling and rowing that boat, happy as a clam, looking for a hippo pussy to eat out there.
See me. I'm out here.
This guy is a fucking superhero. I, honest to God, feel like I have watched a movie right now.
Mhm.
Between
Yeah.
all the antics and shit.
Yeah.
This is crazy. He's fucking Indiana Jones. That's all I can think of is Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And that's the story that they put out there. The official account is the ship hit a mine, and that, Fritz isn't the only one taking credit for it. The IRA claimed credit for it. The Russian communists claimed credit for sinking that ship. So it's Yeah, kind of up in the air about what actually happened.
International waters at that time, it was pretty hasty to begin with. I mean, so that would make sense that it could be numerous factions, perhaps, in charge of sinking this particular boat.
Yeah, but the crazy thing is that in Fritz's story, apparently a German U-boat just drops him back off in Baltimore
That is fucking crazy. That makes no sense.
after it's done.
So they just went the entire Atlantic and just, here you go. You're fine.
There's a chance he never left Baltimore when he got there. He just hung
Yeah,
out
There's
in
a chance he
Baltimore
showed
the whole
up and just, I'm going to just write the rest of this story for me because I'm fucking Friedrichs. I'm awesome.
time. Wow. So is he's the one perpetuating this story of his life?
Yes. So this story comes by way of a biographer that wrote his story in like the 1920s and was very, I don't know what the word is, but like, he kind of just believed everything they told him and didn't do a whole lot of fact checking.
Yeah. And that's the best type of reporting. Whatever you tell me, I'm going to just write it down.
Just
I mean,
be
that-
gullible.
That's how you sell novels.
That
baby.
is how you sell novels,
Yeah.
and that's how you sell news. That's
And that's how you know it's true.
that it.
as well.
Yeah, I forgot. That's how you know it's true. That's the real term there.
So now he's back in the U.S. These insurance claims that he made have caught up to him, and he gets arrested for insurance fraud in 1917.
Oh, get the fuck out!
Now I feel like that a piece of that should be verifiable. Like if he actually did get arrested in the U.S. for insurance fraud in the late teens, they would know whether it was against British boats, British cargo boats down south, or whether it was for him burning down houses in the fucking Bronx because he lived in New York.
Yeah, there's some federal documentation at that point, right? Because he's
Oh yeah, he definitely got arrested.
okay.
That's verifiable. So the American authorities agreed to turn him over to the British for all these war crimes on the agreement that as soon as he serves his sentence on the British side, they'll give him back to the Americans to serve his time for fraud.
Life rocks right now for Friedrichs.
Yeah, he was like, wow, everyone fucking sucks.
So 2 years after this, he's still in prison in New York. He's waiting extradition. And he pretends to be paralyzed the whole time.
Sure. I mean, how do you get out of this? Yeah.
I love my man's imagination.
Honestly, I would absolutely pretend to be paralyzed to get out of serving full commitment. Oh my god. I can't believe you gave me that sentence. My legs don't even work.
Also, he just wanted a free chair. Just like, I like to sit. Yeah, I prefer to sit.
I
Yeah.
hate standing. Standing is terrible.
I mean, one of these accounts say that they would, like the prison doctors would stick needles under his, like in his legs and under his toenails, and he just wouldn't flinch.
Oh my god.
Wow.
He was fully committed to it.
And honestly, him and Daniel Day-Lewis commit,
They are
method acting.
true method actors, yeah.
So while he's in a wheelchair in this prison, he somehow gets a hold of like a hacksaw. Someone slipped it to him or something like that.
I thought you were going to say it was another spoon, his fucking secret weapon.
Yeah, and he's like, yes, a spoon. Here we go. 31 fucking flavors of freedom, baby. Get me out.
Get him in with that Baskin Robbins hit, fuckers.
Also, if you're listening, Baskin Robbins. Anytime you're hungry and you want a delicious dish, Baskin Robbins. Or Escape from Prison.
31 Flavors of Freedom is our new name.
God, I mean, back then they at least had to have 10 flavors.
At least
You know what I'm
at
saying?
that point, he was definitely at 10 flavors. Yeah, totally.
So, sorry, Connor. So they give this guy a fucking hacksaw. Or he gets one. Let's put it that
Yeah,
way.
and apparently he's just like sitting in his wheelchair at like the bars of his cell, just like while no one's noticing, just sitting there, sawing away at the bars of his cell for like a couple months.
Nobody noticed. No one
notices.
touched it.
I mean, it is like 1919, but he cuts the bars of his cell, hops out the window, jumps over the wall, and escapes prison again.
Dude, this is the most cartoony fucking thing I have ever fucking heard.
Are you meaning to tell me that his legs worked the whole time?
Yes, that's true.
Oh,
Wow, so
that's
he faked some serious paralysis here. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. And he just fucking hop and skip. It's no security guard, no jail person leaned against the bars anytime when he was doing that to be like, hey, I think this one's fucking loose.
Yeah. This might be loose. These bars are loose. You guys wouldn't be trying to escape, would you? And they're all standing there like, nah, absolutely not. Okay, I trust you.
No,
That's
no.
good. I'm going to go back and
Even
fall
if the
asleep.
bars are loose, I got to take the chair with me, man. Come on, there's no ramps.
I'm here for a reason, right? You don't got to do that. I belong here. It's fine. I'm just going to stay here.
Yeah.
Just don't fucking worry about it.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So sorry, Connor. What year? What year does he escape?
Like 1919.
1990. Okay.
So this is post WW1. So he is.
The war's
yeah.
over. No one gives a shit anymore. He flees to Mexico, then goes to Europe, but then returns back to New York in 1926, assuming a new identity as Frank Craven.
That's awesome. That's an awesome name, actually.
Yeah, actually, I really like that too.
Frank Craven that's a comic book character, quite frankly. Yeah.
For sure it is. Maybe even a horror movie character.
Definitely.
Does he get involved in like piracy?
I think he
No?
basically already did, but
I mean, kind
you
of.
know.
Well, there was like a famous pirate in like the Carolinas, last name Craven.
Wow. Great story. Really good story, dude.
Okay, yeah, I'll go fuck myself. Thank you. I know you're not gonna edit this out, you dick.
All ideas are valid here. Okay. Let's
Except for the fucking I'm sorry. No, but that means that if there's really a pirate around the Carolinas in like the early 1920s or any time thereafter, it could very well be this guy.
Could be.
And anyways, Connor, the story.
Yeah, so
please.
while he's as Frank Craven, he actually works for a publicist for Joseph Kennedy's movie production studio
Jesus. Okay.
for a little while. But, that didn't really come to fruition at all. He just kind of worked as a publicist, as a normal 9 to 5. But during that time, there's a branch of the NYPD that's called the Alien Squad, which just sounds like a bad B-movie type thing.
Yeah.
The Alien Squad?
The Alien Squad.
The book The Alienist came out around, well, it came out way after that, but it took place in that time. The Alienist is to show on FX, and it was a book.
Fuck, my parents are watching that. They keep telling me to watch that.
Yeah. Isn't
Okay.
it about serial killers?
It's about one of the first serial killers in the United States, and Teddy Roosevelt is the police commissioner in New York City at the time.
just for our listeners to note, Teddy held a number of jobs pre and post presidency. He was quite the individual.
I will probably name my firstborn son Theodore.
And if he could shoot something, he was working there. Yeah, if he got a gun, he was working.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So in 1932, the alien squad catches up to him because, of course, he's an alien. He's not a U.S. citizen, and he's arrested again. He goes before a judge, and they figure out who he really is. But this time, Britain decides that they don't want to pursue his war crimes any longer. It might be like a statute of limitations thing. It might be they just don't care anymore. And also the judge throws out his other charges of insurance fraud and escaping from prison. So now he's a free man. No crimes against him.
Well, so those are just gone. He's just fine now.
They're just gone.
Wow. Okay. That's a gift.
He just ducking and dodging, diving, and whatever the fuck they said in that movie.
Dodging.
Dodging again. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge the law.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's so many founding fathers said that. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge the law. Yeah,
I think that's in the
it
Constitution.
is in the.
actually.
It is. Oh God,
People are still using it to their advantage. It's like a fucking giant loophole.
they are. I don't. This country, wrenches and laws, synonymous.
So he's in the U.S. for a few more years. And now it's 1937, and World War II is ramping up. And the head of the German intelligence knows of Duquesne through his work for, what he did in World War I. And he instructs the head of the German spy network in the U.S. to contact him and recruit him. So he signs up for that, whatever that process looks like. And by 1940, he's in a New York apartment overlooking Central Park with a shortwave radio sending information to the Germans by radio.
So many questions. What is he reporting on, though? Just the birds in the park that he can see?
So he's gathering documents and schematics and things like that. He goes to like West Point and things like that. Reports on tank movements, new tanks that the U.S. is putting out. He pulls out like some documents on like the M1 Garand rifle and like this quote unquote new technology that the U.S. is developing for the upcoming war. And he's just like transmitting that to the Germans.
Wow. Okay. Shit. He's like a for real spy.
Yeah.
Spy for hire.
The FBI's onto him, and they give him the code name the Duke.
No fucking way.
Get out.
And the FBI rents a room right above his apartment and like drills in like holes down into his apartment and plants secret microphones in there.
Hell yeah. Loving this.
Get him.
Yeah.
Dude, this guy just got the fuck out of this shit. And he's like, you know what I want? More of this. I want more risk.
I want more shit. Honestly, I just fucking took so many risks right now. Give me more shit. Let me eat the shit.
I shut it for shit and hippopotamus pussy, and I'm all out of hippopotamus pussy.
Now you can't cut it. Now you can't cut
Now give me more hippopotamus pussy. Let's do this.
And I mean, this dude was just like classic spy. I mean, to hear the FBI describe it, they said the Duke had been a spy all of his life and automatically used all the tricks in the book to avoid anyone following him. He would take a local train, change to an express, change back to a local, go through a revolving door, and keep going on right around. Take an elevator up a floor, get off, walk back to the ground, and take off in a different entrance of the building.
Oh my god. Wow.
So this dude is doing like classic spy shit.
Yeah.
Man, he has got to
This
leave
guy
like
wrote the book on it.
2 hours early for every fucking meeting
Yeah.
that he went to.
We're having a meeting when?
Son of a
Okay.
bitch.
I just need to know if it's at 9, I need to leave at 5:30 from my location.
Oh, so you're just saying he lives in current day Los Angeles? That's
Yeah. Yeah.
Commuter joke.
it. Based on my previous job skills, this guy was it's called operating in the gap. So he was operating in the gap. So if he's going up, if he's going in revolving doors, going up stairs, going up elevators, and leaving out the other side, he's assuming that people are following him, which they must have been if the FBI has his information. So there was surveillance on him, and he knew where there was going to be a gap in the surveillance, and he was operating within that gap.
Wow.
Nuts.
Interesting.
Spy
Okay.
his whole life. The Duke.
This is why I knew this story would speak to you.
It does, yeah, yeah. It took a while. It took until 1940 to get to me. But I get it now.
So the FBI had this double agent on the inside of the spy network. His name was William Siebold, and what they did is his apartment, the FBI rented out both sides of the adjacent apartments, and they set up two-way mirrors on either side of it.
Get the fuck out
So-
of here. They are just surrounding this man.
So they were recording everything that happened in Siebold's apartment through like two-way mirrors and cameras and microphones. And when Duquesne came there, he pulled out some documents out of his sock that had like the plans to the M1 Garand rifle, plans to like tank designs, photos of grenade launchers. And he just like pulled all this shit out and was just like, here you go, like transmit this to the Germans, and like boom, the FBI got him.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That's incredible.
The FBI made this case for 2 years, and in June 1941, they arrest Duquesne and 32 other German spies,
Oh my gosh.
and that essentially busts the entire German spy network in the U.S.
Shit.
Did they say where he was at? He was still in that one spot?
Yeah, he's still in New York.
Ah.
Do you hear that, Baltimore? He wasn't in Baltimore. He left. He went to New York. Fuck you, Baltimore.
Greener pastures.
If I were to say anything about Baltimore, it's fuck you, Baltimore. Just so we're clear.
God damn, y'all really came out so strong.
The Wire, come back.
Look, The Wire was a great fucking show, but fuck you, Baltimore.
Okay, so oh my god. Okay, this is hard to process. He is arrested with basically the entirety of the German spy operating network here in the U.S.
Yep. And that is still the largest espionage case in United States history that's been busted.
That guy was part of... So he went through all of this in his lifetime, from South Africa to Mozambique to Portugal to Bermuda, and ended up in the largest spy ring busted by the FBI.
Right.
That's fucking wild.
This is just a fucking another fucking raisin in the Raisin Bran, man. How many times has he been arrested and just made his way back out now?
Raisin in the Raisin Bran, dude. These raisins are about to start singing.
Can we talk about Raisin and the
You're
Raisin
about to
Bran?
start hear me through the grapevine by these fucking California raisins out here.
Hell yeah, dude, bring them back. They were a joy. They were a fucking delight.
They were terrifying. They
What
were
is
also a
this bullshit we
joy.
have now?
Shout out to my 90s
that's true.
kids. Where you at?
Horrifying.
That kind of shit, and like dinosaurs.
Oh, dinosaurs was terrifying. Yeah.
Wrinkly, leathery. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Going right back to penises.
Honestly, and dinosaurs, they were all spies too. They were working for Germany. We knew that.
Yeah.
And they had bigger than hippopotamus.
Yeah, they were
pussies.
definitely working for outside sources. Yeah, and their pussies were huge, huge pussies. It's the truth.
I do think, to Sean's point, though, the fact that he was like, can you imagine arresting this guy and he's just like, yeah, let's get this over with.
Yeah, he's already done with the whole scenario.
It's like, oh, we got this guy, he's like kind of a fucking cool customer, and it's like, no, you really don't understand. Like, he got out of jail with a fucking spoon once. Like, this is actually not that big of a deal to him.
He needs to be locked up in a different scenario, guys, if that's
You
possible.
think you're cool because you caught me? Hey, I'm one guy who's got his poop in a group, alright? I'm gonna be busting out of here. I don't know what accent he has at this point. I'm just gonna go with New
South
Yorker.
African's so hard. I'm not doing
Any
it.
accent you
It's-
want, honestly, would fit in this scenario because he's.
I mean, you could probably do a British accent and get with a South African accent. It's the same fucking thing. It's the same place, to be honest.
Oh, all right. Get my poop in a group.
Get my poop in a group. I can't do it. I can't do a South African
It's
accent.
really hard. I'm not gonna try it. It's bad. It's weird. Just watch Invictus, and then you'll.
And if you see Invictus and you see a Matt Damon accent, you'll know. Okay, what I have is acceptable.
Yeah, you'll know how to do a terrible accent if you watch
Yeah,
that.
I feel like if Matt Damon can do a South African accent, we all can.
I will hurt anyone who speaks against Matt Damon. I love that. Boy.
Insert blood diamond. Insert blood diamond for anyone listening. Yeah.
It's true. Leo.
Was he in Blood?
No, Leo. He did.
Oh, I'm sorry, it was Leo.
Yeah,
I'm
Leo
sorry,
was.
it Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in Interstellar. He had the small part in Interstellar as an asshole. Very convincing, in my opinion.
Wait, hold on. Are we just doing Hollywood actors now?
Yeah.
Is that all we're doing?
We're definitely doing Hollywood actors now.
No, I'm making fun of you, KY, for being a Matt Damon fan.
Matt Damon, ride or die, baby.
Oh yeah, he can do a South Boston accent. Good for him.
Well,
He's from South
got
Boston,
range.
so it's basically like fuck you. What was the
Yeah.
sci-fi one? Where he had the mech suit that he was in? Elysium. Yes.
Elysium, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yep. I did see that. Unwatchable.
I saw that in prison.
I saw that in prison.
I did the same. I did not go to theater. I definitely saw it in home cinema. So, that's how...
Cinema.
Home cinema.
Okay, so Connor, this guy gets popped. Anything after?
He gets sentenced to 18 years in prison. At this point, he is 64, so he does not get out this time.
Wow, God. And, the way we treat elderly prisoners is just fucking terrible. I mean, it's just...
I don't know. This guy was kind of fucking us over for the Germans.
He was definitely fucking us over for 2 wars. 2 wars, mind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to a federal penitentiary in Kansas for 2 years. And then due to failing health, he went to like a facility for prisoners that was mostly medical in Missouri. He stayed there until 1954 when he was released due to his failing health. And then he got released. He went back to New York, and he passed away in New York in 1956 at age 78.
Wow. Still a massive, a huge life.
56 at 78. Yeah, huge
But
life.
78
dude.
years old, like, to live through all that shit at 78, and like, he obviously had something terminal if he got released early. That's kind of par for the course there, but wow.
Just, context purely. The last, those of us listening in the U.S., our last Civil War vet died in, I think it was 56. Last Union soldier died in 56. So this guy was right in that same generation, just on three different continents at this point.
Yeah, man, he did it all. He was everywhere.
Born into war and just kept coming back for more war. Like really, like, sought it out, and kind of acquiesced to all these requests of, like, hey, you could definitely, turncoat for us and pretend to possibly be a duke and murder this guy you super hate if that happened. But he kept going and putting himself in these situations over and over again. Jesus, he must have fucking loved being a spy.
I think so. I think that was it.
Yeah, it's just the rush of how can I sell out the people most immediate to me? Good Lord.
Maybe he just liked taking the elevators and the stairs all at the same trip.
All in the same trip. It is purely exercise for him. Absolutely.
You just like the revolving doors. I like going around them. It's so much fun.
He's getting his 10,000 steps in. That's all it is.
He was following his 10,000 steps. That's exactly right. What's the best way to do this for me?
You know what? I'll become a spy, and that'll keep me moving. That'll keep me active.
I just love revolving doors. Like, he's at his high school guidance counselor. I love elevators and I love revolving doors. Like, what do you have?
Exactly. I want to find a job with revolving doors, and this is before Soul Cycle, so he's like, I'm lost. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing right now.
Are we good for a summation? So Fritz Duquesne, his story starts around 1899 as a 12-year-old kid. He's involved in a spearing. He kills a man at the age of 12 years old. Later on, he ends up in the Boers Wars, in which the Brits drop. He's a Dutch citizen in southern Africa. In the Boers Wars, the Brits drop a bunch of troops in that region, and so I have a note here about General Lord Kitchener, and I'm not sure where he first is introduced to this guy.
He wasn't necessarily introduced, but General Lord Kitchener he orchestrated the scorched earth policy during that war to burn down all the settlers' farms and concentration camps.
Got it. So early on in his life, General Lord Kitchener is a part of the ire that settles in with this kid, right? So Lord Kitchener is like a bad dude for this guy.
Right.
Okay, so at 21 or 22, he ends up conscripting or enlisting into the Boers army as a lieutenant. During that time, he's wounded in the shoulder. Later on, he's in charge of moving a shipment of gold, because I think the Dutch are aware that the British are on them and they're probably going to take over their region. So he wants to move a shipment of gold, and in doing so, there's like a small scrimmage, and the only people alive after that scrimmage is him, a handful of Boer soldiers, and their native guides out of East Africa, Mozambique. Somewhere the decision is made to kill the Boer soldiers, and the stockpile of gold is hidden somewhere in the mines of East Africa. That's correct, right?
Yep.
Okay. He rides off on a pair of oxen. He returns to combat, and unfortunately he's captured by the Portuguese. He ends up in an internment camp in Portugal, where he charms a guard's wife.
Daughter, but yeah.
Sorry, a guard's daughter, and he ends up escaping from that. Making his way, he escapes from Portugal, makes his way to Britain, where he enlists in the British Army, comes back to the Boers War as a British officer, but he's actually working as a double agent, which is kind of the beginning of his spy career, right? Upon returning from Britain and Portugal, he finds out that his mother has died and that his sister has been raped by presumably someone in the British Army. While he is acting in the British Army, he is found out as a double agent. He is sentenced to death, but he ends up striking a deal with the Brits and saying, hey man, I'll sell you guys all the war codes, the communication codes, all this information about troop movements, stuff like that. He gets out of a death sentence and ends up just striking a deal for his life in prison. Am I correct so far?
Yep, you're good.
All right. Yep, this is where all the fun stuff happens. So as he's in prison, he tries to escape with a motherfucking spoon. During the escape plan, there's a cave-in. He's knocked unconscious, and the British, as the British do, they send him to a prison colony in Bermuda.
Penal.
Okay, I'm sorry. Penal. Okay, nope. Yep. Didn't want to forget the word penal. Make a lot of penis jokes in this podcast for those people who are listening. Ends up on a penal colony in Bermuda. He fucking escapes again by swimming 1.5 miles to the main island of Bermuda. And then from there, he ends up makes it to Baltimore, right? All right. So from Baltimore, he does some shit that I don't have any notes on, but he ends up going. He makes his way to New York in 1902. He becomes an author and a war correspondent. In his career as a war correspondent, he goes to all sorts of places, reporting on different wars throughout the world. I mean, China, Europe, even Africa at the time, right? Somewhere in that time, he becomes Teddy Roosevelt's shooting instructor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In 1910, I have this note in here. It's not really relevant, but in 1910, there's some bill introducing the need for hippopotamus meat in the United States.
Bring back the hippo bill. Bring back the
hippo bill. Bring back the hippo bill.
Give us that late cow bacon.
There was a joke about hippopotamus pussy, I believe, right? Hippopotamus pussy?
Water cow bacon / hippo pussy. Water cow bacon.
I would like to talk about hippo pussy.
No,
again.
not in the summation.
If I can take time on my summation.
No, we cannot do that. We absolutely cannot.
No, that's not how. Yep. Okay.
Right.
Here we go.
All right. So in the 19-teens, the world is heading into World War I. He becomes a spy for the German army. He goes to Brazil under the cover of a researcher doing research into rubber plants. During that time, he ends up playing a part in sinking a bunch of British ships. He actually, in a surprising con manish way of doing things, took out a bunch of insurance policies on those British ships, and he cashed in on them, which of course led to MI5 getting word about his whereabouts and what he's doing. He kind of escapes MI5 in a way. He goes back to New York, and in 1916, the Germans reach out to him, and he kind of takes part in another spy thing again, where he's selling information about what the U.S. is doing to ramp up for World War I. He is alerting U-boats. I'm sorry. So my notes are kind of scattered here. In World War I, he comes across information that's relevant to where General Lord Kitchener is located. And during that time, he is posing as an officer of some foreign military, winds up on the same boat as Kitchener, and signals German U-boats to sink that boat. And as they're sinking that boat, he escapes out of a window and swims to safety, thus killing the man that's caused him so much strife in his lifetime. Yeah, so after that, the insurance fraud thing kind of catches up to him. He goes to prison again. Where does he go to prison after that?
Just in New York.
Okay, so he goes to prison, escapes again, right? Assumes the name Frank Craven. After that, he works as in Kennedy's film agency as a consultant,
like a publicist.
As a publicist in Kennedy's film agency, and then kind of a few decades or a decade and a half goes by at least, and then in World War II, he is contacted by the German military again as a spy, but this time the FBI is kind of onto him. He's codenamed the Duke, and then at the end of his life, he's in prison in Kansas, which I'm pretty sure is Leavenworth, and that's where he dies in 1956. I don't know if that summation was fucked up or not, but
we got it. We're gonna take it. That was beautiful.
Man, this guy's life was so fucking crazy that summation was basically its own episode. I mean, and I'm not even being an asshole. Like, you covered everything as quickly and as succinctly as possible, and it was still like so much shit happened to this guy that he got thrown into or got himself thrown into.
Yeah, I was writing notes the entire time that we were doing this episode. It was like really hard to keep up with it because this guy's life, like as kind of like a peasant Dutch colonist in South Africa, and like getting fucked over, or his family getting fucked over in I was gonna make a really bad joke. His family getting fucked over in South Africa during the Boers War, and then finding that guy and killing him, and then working as a spy for the rest of his life. I can actually relate to that as someone who's been on a lot of deployments and has found being in America as a really like unsettling, coming off of a lot of deployments and coming back to the U.S. Like, this makes me uncomfortable. So I want to take these like extra risks, these extra steps to kind of feel alive in my life. So I feel for this guy. I really do. Unfortunately for him, it ultimately led to his imprisonment and his death.
And you also managed to do it without all that hippo pussy. So
I didn't. I did all of that with zero
There
hippo
was
pussy.
like literally no hippo pussy in the summation.
yeah. So really, well, like when you look back on your life, you'll realize you didn't live up to Fritz Duquesne. You know.
No, I did not.
Quite.
Yeah, Fritz Duquesne blows me out of the fucking water. The big difference is the hippo pussy. Yeah.
That's it. Honestly, beyond that, really the same person when you think about
Well,
it.
I would say he's probably taller, but I'm more attractive.
oh,
I
definitely
would agree
more
with that.
attractive than this
Yeah,
motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. I
Oh, yeah.
appreciate that. Thank you for co-signing.